I'm Chick, and here's Tom with a very special guest.
Taking over the chair for Christy's daughter.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, it's
Yeah,
comedian.
you got a big seat to fill there, Dave.
I am immediately intimidated.
Yeah.
Christy's daughter.
Does
Does that mean I'm now a member of the family?
Sure.
And what's for dinner tonight?
That's a good question. Actually, I have dinner plans tonight, so you're on your own. You got to make your own.
And they don't include me. Wow. That's what I am understanding. You are very clear, young lady. Okay, got it. I
that
will
is the
have
voice
my
of,
chicken fingers in bed.
That is the voice of comedian and actor Dave Koechner. And Dave has been in lots of stuff everybody knows him from. But in my case, I've been seeing a lot of him all summer long because he is in a movie called A Week Away on Netflix that my 9-year-old daughter plays constantly.
All right.
And it's a great movie.
Yep.
It's a fun movie about going to summer camp, and you're getting this new audience of people that know who you are.
I know, I love it. You just got to keep that fishing pole. Just keep dropping that sinker. You get another collection of 9-year-olds, and eventually, when they're 20, I love it when. So years ago, I did Hannah Montana. I did 3 episodes. So now all those kids are in their early 20s, and I love it when I'll say to them, "Have you seen Hannah Montana?" And they'll go, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I'm Uncle Earl." And they'll slowly, their eyes will widen and their mouths will drop. It's just so much fun. A couple years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago in L.A., my daughter and I were heading to a Starbucks, and there's a corner of this intersection. And I saw these kids, these girls in the car, and I saw the window come down. I'm like, what's this going to be? Because you always think, how do they know you? And it was the first time, like, Uncle Earl. I was like, oh, my goodness. So, yeah, I'll drop that sinker and get a couple more youngins.
Yeah. And perhaps best known from...
These days, it's The Office. It's interesting what it is, right? It's whatever that dynamic is, but now it's The Office. Coming off the pandemic, everybody apparently sat and watched The Office forever.
Right.
So,
true.
Man, I'm grateful.
Anchorman.
Yep.
That's where I think a lot of people, probably before that, it was Anchorman.
Yep. And then you'll get, what's really hitting for the comedy deep cuts nerds is The Goods. There's a lot of passion for The Goods.
It's as underrated a comedy as there is, I think.
Look at that. Unsolicited testimonial. Now, are you having dinner with Christy?
I am not. I'm not. So maybe you and I should
Thank
go,
you.
Yeah.
I'm looking for allies.
And I'll even go deeper, Dave. I saw you perform with Beer Shark Mice.
Nice.
And it was the lampshades and then Beer Shark Mice. And it was as funny a live show as I've ever seen.
That's true. Well, no, and that's not ego. We don't want ego, death to ego, but we put on a heck of a show. Now, you're talking about what is called long-form improvisation. So we'll take one suggestion, and we'll do 40 minutes on that. And as me and a group of guys I'd known from Chicago, so I still know them, we'd already known each other for more than 10 or more years. And we put together a group of just great improvisers, and man, we were solid. You want to talk about, basically, it's jazz, really, in a way. And no one was talking, it's jazz comedy, gang. Okay?
What was the name of this aggregation?
Yeah, man.
Beer Shark Mice. And it is like, it's about the jokes they don't say.
It's the other person you would know from that group was Neil Flynn, who was the janitor on Scrubs and the dad on The Middle.
Yeah.
And we had a great group of people. Everybody had a different dynamism in their comedy bag. And, man, we killed it. And, of course, Lampshades was Kate Flannery, also from The Office, who I'm sure is having dinner with Christy.
Me tonight. That's exactly right.
Have
That's
you
the
been on
voice of
Dancing
Dave
with the
Koechner once
Stars?
again.
Have I?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'm just figuring. I'm trying to see how you know all your famous buddies.
No, Dave Koechner is on tour, by the way. Coming up next weekend, the Funny Bone in Des Moines, and the weekend after that, the Funny Bone in Toledo, Ohio, recently graced by Josh Arnold.
Yes, they're excited to have you.
All right. Who the way you say it made me feel like they're not. I don't know.
No, they're very excited.
No, he means
I was talking with
they're really excited after he laid such an egg.
they're ready for comedy.
Yeah.
And not to stress you out, but the weekend before, Christy's daughter will be having
Yeah,
so, huge.
I love it.
Then it's a Charlie Goodnights in Raleigh, North Carolina, Thursday, December 1st, and Friday, the 16th and 17th of December, the Improv in your hometown, Kansas City, Missouri.
The hometown's Tipton, but my sisters all live in KC, and then I do that charity every year with name drops. Let's see, Paul Rudd, Rob Riggle, Eric Stone Street, Jason Sudeikis, and Heidi Gardner is now also going to be a host that we brought on. So yeah, a lot of
That's
hometown talent. Yeah, so that's where my family. It's nice that all my sisters live there now, so I can just drop in and see everybody at one place.
Well, that's great. That's great. We're talking with Dave Koechner, and he's got a lot going on. And any new movies in the works or stuff like that?
Yes, I'm shooting one now. I don't know if I'm not going to say what it is. I'll tell you off the air just because you never know when they want to let you say what you're doing. I continue to recur on the Goldbergs. Let's see. I did a movie this summer called Ganymede, which should be a burner. I mean, it's a drama too, which is something new for me. I play a really nasty preacher who is. It's here. Okay. Audience, it is a gay coming of age film. Stay with me. And this young man he has a very conservative parents, and one of them's a politician, and they catch this kid, and in what is it called? Flagrante.
Flagrant delicto, I think is the...
And for all you Latin listeners out there, and that is the language, not the declension of all persons down south. Anyway,
Too, David.
so I play this really nasty preacher, and I pledged to help him get through his, indiscretion.
Wow.
In the worst possible way. So it was so much fun.
And what's it called?
Ganymede. A Ganymede is a thing from, apparently, if I want to put your listeners to sleep, please indulge. A Ganymede, apparently Zeus, the god Zeus, had a female who used to bring him his wine, and his wife got jealous. And then so he said, all right, we'll get rid of her, and you pick the next person. And it was a young man, a very good-looking young man, I guess. So, because she didn't want Zeus to be tempted. And then that got into some Christian medieval thing of like a Ganymede is a person, a beautiful man who tempts other men to step outside of what...
That does make sense.
What other people believe only, there can only apparently be one type of sexuality.
Yeah, right. Greek men were never interested in young men.
No, never.
It was a better time.
That's going to be, that's an odd choice to put a title out there that no one gets.
When you have to take 10 minutes to explain the title.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of weird titles out there that people end up loving, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Our guest is Dave Koechner, a comedian and a writer and a producer. You've seen him in all kinds of stuff, currently featured on The Goldbergs on television.
Funny show.
And I'll recommend the kids' movie, A Week Away. It's about summer camp and got great music, and I've seen it 50 times.
All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
And I told Finn you were coming in, and she...
Aw.
lost her mind. She probably should have skipped school to come in and say hello.
Yes.
Let's go to her school.
Believe it or not, tonight, Willie and I are going to be doing the PA for the high school football game.
No.
Yeah,
You've been sitting on that gem all day?
the people who ordinarily do it can't do it tonight. And I used to do it when Willie was on the team.
I was really looking for a way to get out of this. And now that you said it on air, it seems a little tough.
So you're going to the high school tonight?
What are you going to say?
What are you, out of weed?
There we go. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, I buy vape cartridges from a junior boy. Thank you very much. Yes.
I'm sure they know.
It'll be fun. But that's one of those things that's it's sort of like calling bingo. You can't be funny. You've got to. They take it very seriously.
That's right. I got fired from an NFL team. Joking and stuff. It's not good. You're going to get messed up. You wait and see. It's going to be a problem.
I used to do it for all the games, and if you pronounce one of the players' names wrong, their mom would come marching across the field. It's Johnston, not Johnson. All right. Okay.
I thought it was a silent T, man.
But it'll be fun. So we'll be doing that tonight. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Who's doing color and who's doing play-by-play?
Oh, I can tell you that. You'll be doing play-by-play.
No, this is more like who made the tackle and that sort of thing. Concessions are now open. It's fairly
important stuff. Yeah.
If I'm going to go, I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about my nice season on the field, talk about the back injury, sound like a hero.
Please be very drunk.
You still have the injury?
No, I broke my back after a football game as a senior in high school. But when you say it was a Friday night, people think you're a real champion.
Yeah, there weren't enough Friday night lights on the tree he fell out of.
Is that what you were on a tree?
Yeah, I was on a tree swing. My buddy Logan pushed me.
Tree swing.
Oh, it was cool at first.
And then I fell to the ground, and as my friends heard it, I made a noise they'd never heard before, and then they had to take me to the hospital. It was a whole thing.
Is your dad now hearing this for the first time?
No. And then I took him out for the senior day on a wheelchair to the middle of the field. Hey, how's it
They
going?
wheeled me out and they said, "This is Willie Griswold, who was hurt last Friday." And then the home team and the away team stood up like I was I saved a child or something.
And you started pushing the chair, and you once called me a sad old
Nice.
man.
Nice. Folks, talk about your deep cuts.
Dave Koechner
It's
is
a
our
Wonderful
guest.
Life.
Is there going to be an Anchorman 3?
I don't think so. I would do it. Maybe Willie will write the darn thing. I can finally get another movie.
I'm using the
I don't think
sequence
so.
method.
Not that I've heard of. Let's see. I think it was 9 or 10 years between the first or second one. So that would be next year. We shot that last one in 2013. So someone should hurry up. There ought to be just you know what we should do? Like the Marvel Universe. Everyone, like Champ should have his own movie. Willie?
Yeah, there you go.
What are you doing? You and your broken wheelchair.
I don't know.
And you have a degree in screenwriting.
Yep.
Start writing.
I'll use the save the cat method. I'll get this done by next week.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, are you writing any movies of your own?
I have. I've written several scripts. None of them produced. It is a fun exercise, but it is not easy.
Some of them sold?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not made.
Right.
Yeah, so they'll buy a script and then not make
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Sometimes, that's the way it goes.
Right. And hey,
You got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you look back and you're like, I see where the flaws were in that. When you're writing it, you think it's brilliant. I love how so many people here's an idea for a movie. Well, why don't you be quiet? If people come up to you friends tell me I'm funny, that I should do stand-up. Really, what's your job? Should I just be an engineer? You think it's just that easy? Go ahead and do it then. They think it's just anyone can do that type of thing.
So of the movies that you've written that have not been produced, what is the best premise? Can you say that without...
Best premise. Well, was for the Naked Trucker and T-Bone show. Is a show that made it to Comedy Central, but it was compromised. It's not the way we wanted to do it, but that's fine. And the premise was is the Naked Trucker. So the stage show was Dave Allen, pardon me, was the Naked Trucker, and I was his sidekick. And the premise was, pardon me, Gerald Tibbins was a carny and a con man, but also could quote Chaucer and Noam Chomsky. So he's a very bright guy. And so he claims his father was Buzz Aldrin, and he needed to get Buzz Aldrin to help him make some money, to raise money to get him so he could eventually walk his daughter down the aisle for her wedding. How about that for a premise? It's way too complicated. That's worse than Ganymede.
But you were talking about your starts in the world of improv.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a question. I always tell the same backstory on this one, so these guys can all not pay attention. The short version is we were talking with George Carlin. And George could sometimes be extraordinarily serious and not a great interview.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't going really well, and it wasn't particularly funny. And so I said to George, do you have a favorite piece, a favorite bit that you're working on that everybody else hates? And he lit up. Loved it. Yeah, I've got this thing. And he goes into it, and it was funny. It was great. So I'm not going to ask you that.
Okay.
what I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to ask you this.
It's a humble brag.
Yeah.
No, you'll see. In the world of when you were doing improv,
Yes.
of which you are a master,
Thank you.
did you have a go-to, like if something was really not working, did you have in your back pocket I'm going to go to this guy?
No, because the way I came up, we all came up. You don't repeat bits. It's got to be, it was looked down upon if you did pre-manufactured stuff. So you have to stay in the moment and just dig deeper. And you know what? It's a great learning lesson. Like you're on stage, and if it's silent, engage with your partner. It's not stand-up. You're there with the other person on stage. Your responsibility is to just be right there. Because look, it's what's in the past is the past. In fact, the teaching was all we have is what's in the rearview mirror. So we can't start talking about plot. We have only this moment. And the only way it's going to work is if we're in a relationship in this moment. That's what's interesting to the crowd. I'm not up here telling a story. I'm in in a stage relationship with the other person on stage. Then invest in your partner. If it's going bad, at least you got somebody else out there. And the best chance for something to happen is re-engage with the other person on stage.
Well, the classic there is when the phone rings at the wrong time. In a stage play, the phone cue goes off at the wrong time. Yeah. So you would be sure to walk over, pick it up, and then hand it to the other guy and go, "It's for you."
But for you, Juliet.
In long form improv, you've got it's not just the two of you. There are 2-person shows, but I've got 5 or 6 other brilliant people on stage. You're hoping they'll come and save you. Now, not to say we had some dog crap.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. In the course of doing the improv over the years, has any of it ever evolved? You said you remember, boy, that was really funny that one night. Has any of that evolved into part of your stand-up?
Probably, and I can't remember exactly. But, I mean, it's part of what I came up with. And so, for me, a lot of that time, that's how I'll find new stuff, because you work on it on stage, and you might have a thought in the day, and then it winds up there that night, stuff like that. So nothing from the old days, though. There is a character I did create years ago in a group called Jazz Freddy, this character Gerald Tibbins, and that came out of improv. And so, yeah, sometimes some character pieces will come from improvisation that you hold on to.
Is that the one? Is that the truck driver?
Yeah, Naked Trucker and T-Bones.
Yeah. Okay.
Gerald Tibbins. Friends call me T-Bones. Ladies call me when they want the carnival ride of their lives. Do you want to go faster? Who wants to go backwards? And all the ladies go, woo!
That's David Koechner.
T-Bone.
And here's a stupid question. Your last name is kind of unusual.
Yes.
I mean, if one were to look at it for the first time, I'm sure when you were introduced, when you were starting in stand-up, probably a lot of, we have David Koechner.
Right. Here's the thing. My family says it wrong. It should not be Koechner. It should be Koechner. It's a German word. Here's a couple things. Number one, my grandfather was adopted, so I'm not German, and I'm not a Koechner. So I'm from a small town in Missouri, and for whatever reason, there are about 20 German families in this town, right? Now, you'd think they'd remember how to say your own last name. Nowhere in the English language does the O-E make the short E sound. K-O-E is not Koechner. It's at least it's Koechner. Kohler toilets. Come on, gang.
Yes.
So why did no teacher throughout my entire upbringing go, it should be Koechner. It's not Koechner. But then when I got into show business, I've got 36 first cousins on my dad's side. So when I get into show business, and that's when I would have had an opportunity to change it to Koechner, which probably would have accelerated my career, because now people look at my name and go, well, I see it, and I know it's not Koechner, It should be Koechner, but I've heard it pronounced incorrectly, so I'm not even going to invest in it. Because if this guy wouldn't take the time to correct his own last name.
Were you advised early on in your career to maybe go with like Dave King or?
No, my mother's name was Downey, and what I should have said is David Downey, and of course then I'd add a junior to it.
Of course. Yeah.
That's been done by somebody else.
Lorne Michaels did ask me if I wanted a wig.
No kidding.
When I got hired on Saturday Night Live, Dave, you know, you're now going to be introduced to the world. It's up to you whether or not you want hair. And then he went through this list of people that had toupees and hair plugs. And I'm not going to give it away to these poor people that had hair plugs. And so it took me like 3 days. I'm like, oh, my God, is he telling me I need to get a toupee? And I think like, oh, my family is going to never let me live this down. All my Chicago buddies that I come up with will never let me. I'm like, and then we went to a baseball game, a Yankees game, me, Will Ferrell, Lorne Michaels, name dropping all over the place. And he goes, Dave, about the wig, F it. I was like, so relieved.
Yeah, and I would also imagine that for the staff at SNL, and I know they have award-winning wig makers.
Yes.
It's better to be bald.
Right.
Because they can make you anybody a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Stays your handsome self.
Yeah.
Plus, you're closer to thee.
Let me ask you this. In your travels, have you had to wear a wig in the last decade?
Good question. No. The last hairpiece I wore was semi-pro. Had a nice little hairpiece in that.
Did you get a lot of grief from the family?
No, because it was a movie. It's okay. Now, I think in Week Away, I had one scene where I did have a wig, I think.
I don't. That's the movie that I've seen 50 times.
I know, I love
this.
it.
And Mr. Koechner is also famous for The Office, and I'm going to mention this. This is a really cool thing you're doing.
Yes.
And his appearance is coming up the next few weeks. He's going to be doing a Saturday afternoon thing. This would include Des Moines and Toledo, in which you do office trivia as the real Todd Packer.
Correct.
And The Office, the television program, obviously. Right. And you tell stories. And
Yep.
But Office fans are not going to want to miss this.
Oh, they love it. I tell you what, the energy, because it's like they're all going to the same church. I mean, the energy is effervescent. There's a vibration. It's really cool because, you know, it's their thing. It's the thing they all are there and they have in common. It's a real unique afternoon. I mean, you really feel I hate to say it, but I'm going to say the word vibe.
Yeah.
Sure. And do you sign autographs as yourself or as Todd?
I can't even imagine what Todd Packer would put on an autograph.
Well, first
It'd
of all,
be naughty.
Packer's a lot easier to spell than whatever it was, Koechner. Whatever that thing was. Coming up, we have to wade through a little bit of news with Christy Lee.
You're more interesting.
David Koechner is going to hang out with us. And if they want to follow you on various social media platforms, are you out there everywhere?
Yes, it's just...
Do they have to be able to spell your name?
That's what think Koechner, folks. Koechner, Koechner.
Okay. And also, you are on Cameo.
Yes, sir.
I want to bring that up when we come back. Please remind me. This is the Bob and Tom Show. David Koechner's right here. What's your email?
Dear Chick, I was listening. Dear Chick, you are right.
Oh.
I was watching our local TV news channel, and how nice they were to each other makes me very uncomfortable. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever. I love the open hostility on the Bob and Tom Show that you have with each other. Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
You tell them, dummy.
That's Kyle from Billings, Montana, and I think I owe someone in Billings, don't I?
Making it better on paper.
Dear Bob and Tom.
Yeah.
I'm a high school English teacher in Glasgow,
No kidding.
Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Is this a penthouse letter?
I never thought this would happen to me.
I listen to your show every morning as I'm getting ready for work. I love you guys.
Oh.
You never fail to get me off to a great start. So far, so good.
So far, great.
I really appreciate your allusion yesterday to T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock.
He's that character.
While you were plugging an erectile dysfunction pharmaceutical. It made my day.
All right.
Okay. I forget how I did that or why, but all I remember was...
something about the ladies come and go. Yeah, I forget.
Oh, I remember what it was.
Quoting.
Yeah, because they have that new poem for their website.
That's what it was.
That's
Yeah.
it.
ko.co.
Yeah.
It's not a poem.
It's not that it isn't a
Well,
poem.
I said it
No,
reminds me of the great poem "Be Kind, Rewind."
That's not a great poem
That's
either.
not a T.S. Eliot poem.
No, but the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock is in the room. The women come and go.
Yeah, you
talking
said
of
that.
ko.co, whatever the hell it was. We'll get to it coming up. Right now, we have a fine guest in the studio, and he is comedian David Koechner, and he's losing his patience with the show.
About this point,
why can't I enjoy this? Come on.
You kind of wonder. The guests normally wonder at this point, what the hell is going on? Is this really a show? Yeah.
I am privileged to be here, to be among you people. Come on.
That is correct.
Come on.
I would rather be here with all of you people than with the finest people on the planet. You know that?
That's really
Be
nice.
honest. I mean, look, we're lucky. We're all in show business. Gosh darn it. Here we are. We get an opportunity to have some communion together. I mean, these are fun moments, right?
Yes, of course.
Now, let me ask you this.
If you say so.
You've got a thing that you're doing on Saturday afternoons
Yes.
in which you do the special tribute to The Office in which you were featured. Is there a particular episode of I'm sure you don't sit around your house watching all your stuff.
Right.
But is there one particular episode or a movie or something of yours, if you stumble upon it, you go, I'm going to watch this one?
If I stumble on, you know what? Every once in a while, you'll see the kids will, like, if Anchorman's on, they'll be watching it. That's fun. There's a part of Anchorman that sometimes we'll play. Anchorman 2, there was a musical number we had in Anchorman 2 that did not make the first movie. Every one of these Anchorman pictures, there's 2 of them. There's also an alternate movie. For instance, Anchorman 1, there's an alternate one called Wake Up Ron Burgundy. It had the original ending that we'd shot for the movie. And then for Anchorman 2, I think they called it Bigger, Longer, Uncut or something like that. There's a beautiful musical number in that movie. It's called A Great Big World. And then it's like a Broadway musical piece. Then in the middle of that musical number, we meet a gay guy, and we can't wrap our heads around it. We don't know what that means. We think he's a vampire, or like, what does it mean? And then we start singing this song, If I Were Gay for a Day, and it is just delicious. And I couldn't believe it didn't make the movie. So if you get a chance to see that one, look for the musical number in Anchorman 2. Also, another movie you just mentioned was Cheap Thrills, which you'll never see on broadcast. It's a dark comedy. It's not for children.
Yeah.
You will not be watching that after you watch A Week Away with your daughter, unless she's in her 20s. But Cheap Thrills is a great movie, and it's one of those ones I was hoping would have gotten more attention, but they sold it the first time they took it out to a film festival, and I couldn't believe it. But boy, that's a good one.
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay, I'll look forward to checking that out. David Koechner is our guest, and I thought we would play our game. Should we do that?
Oh my gosh, sure.
Let me explain. This is a game called Poetry for Neanderthals, the Not Safe for Work edition, available exclusively at Target. Oops, sorry, missed it again.
Did you add that?
The way it works is, Josh, you have the cards over there?
I do.
Now, Josh, it can only give clues using single-syllable words.
Okay.
He can string together a sentence, but they all must be single-syllable words. And the answer is usually a 2-word phrase of something that could be naughty. It could be adult-oriented.
Very.
And do you want to give us a shout here? Go.
Sure, yeah. So I'm going to give you the clues in one syllable. Pet. If you have one of these, your speech may be slow, your face may sag.
Stroke?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow, nice.
Good job.
I thought it was a pet.
Boob.
Stroke a boob?
No, swim move.
Breaststroke?
Breaststroke.
Nice.
Yes.
That's it?
Yes. That was breaststroke.
Okay. Not particularly naughty, unless,
No, but I think the fun is getting the person to say breast and the clues that you would use.
Okay. I mean,
Because we're all in 6th grade?
Well, that's kind of the fun of the game. It's very sophomoric. And,
Do you have one, Willie?
Yeah, sure. Here we go. H2O.
Water.
Yes, and
Moist.
no.
Wet.
Squirter.
Wet dreams.
Holy water.
Weed.
Squirter.
Weed.
Yes.
Long water.
Yes, exactly.
Long
Long water. Thank you,
water.
Patty.
Wow.
I thought so. The answers aren't single syllable.
No.
Just the clues.
Okay.
Okay. Once again, we're playing poetry for Neanderthals. I think they call it that because when you're giving the clues, it sounds like you're kind of a Neanderthal because you can't use a 2-syllable
Right.
word. And it's hard to remember
I'm
that
terrible
you
at
can't
that.
throw out a 2-syllable word.
Now, this, I don't know what this is. So maybe when we figure it out, we can find out what it is.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it means. Stick to a wall, no glue, but use this to stick.
Velcro?
Tape?
Yes.
Tape.
Tape.
I have to
Tapeworm.
take a
Tapeworm.
Dump.
in the John.
He said don't.
Dump.
Yeah, not
Tape
dump.
Not dumb.
Poop.
P?
Yes.
What?
P tape?
P tape.
Oh, that's like the politicians may have a P tape.
What's a P tape? I've never heard
that's what
that.
it is?
That's what they're talking about. Certain politician may
Or
have
R.
a P
Kelly
tape.
P
Yes,
tape. Or
that too.
R. Kelly won an Oscar for a P tape.
Oh, okay.
P tape.
What?
David.
I still don't understand it.
Like a video where he's
Chuck Berry may have a.
Chuck Berry. Eggs Danny Thomas.
Yeah.
Talking about-
I thought that was a poop tape.
That's an old. They're talking about your deep cuts.
What did he
and that might be apocryphal. We have no idea. But
Who did he? I've always wondered, like, there were certain people, like, what did Danny Thomas do to get the glass table thing?
Right.
And what did
Poor
Richard Gere do
Gere.
to get
Rod
the
Stewart.
gerbil?
Well, Richard Gere put a hamster up his ass.
No, it wasn't gerbil.
But,
Come on.
sorry, gerbil. But I
understand.
don't know how the others.
Danny Thomas pissed off Phil Donahue at the wedding. That's what I heard.
Now, here's a guy.
Okay.
He pays his taxes. Let me tell you.
I should mention that Dave Koechner is going to be on stage. He's got this helium gig tonight. He's got coming up in the next couple of weeks, the Funny Bone in Des Moines next weekend. The weekend after that, the Funny Bone in Toledo. And they will also include a special Saturday afternoon thing of office trivia with the real Todd Packer, which
How
sounds
fun
like
is that?
Really fun.
Very
time.
fun.
And I think you mentioned during the lockdown, a lot of people binge watched The Office.
yeah.
Now, does that? This is I don't want to get into a delicate territory here, but does that benefit you in any way? When
Well, here's the thing. That's on a streaming platform, so those rates were negotiated, at a different time from SAG, and so they didn't know how. So the companies would argue that they don't monetize the reruns on the streaming platforms, and so those rates were lower than what would have been traditionally paid out on broadcast network. Boy, if I haven't put people to sleep already. But so yes, you didn't get remuneration as much as you would have for broadcast plays. But since then, now SAG has come up with Screen Actors Guild has come up with a different formula to make sure you get paid more. Now, so I wasn't a regular on The Office. Those people are mad. Some of them, right? Because the people watch The Office so much, and they weren't necessarily, paid for it on all those plays. But, the way you got to look at it is, what's the good side? You got, a bonus in your career. You got so many other business opportunities.
In fact, didn't we find out that the number one person on Cameo, at least for a while, was Brian Baumgartner?
He's the first person to make $1 million doing Cameo.
How about that?
Wow.
Man, I can't imagine how many he must have done.
Yeah.
now, when you are asked to do Cameo,
Yes.
and are you asked to do it in character? And if so,
Yeah.
who's the main one they want?
Anchorman in Office.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you ever get the obscure ones?
Rarely, but sometimes.
Say someone wanted to give their daughter a thing from the camp.
I'm going to make a cameo for your daughter before. No, just something today. If I can remember anything from a week away.
We'll get to that. Right now, I want to talk about how this show sounds 20% better if you're listening on Raycon earbuds. Is
That's
that correct?
exactly right. There's nothing worse than the mall in the months leading up to the holidays. The noise. My God, the noise. That's where you need earbuds. because you don't want to hear all the kids screaming and a half hour to find parking. Raycon's wireless earbuds, that's where they come in. And headphones and speakers offer premium sound, useful features, and they make swell gifts. An almost custom, comfortable fit. The gel tips with Raycon fit every ear ever made, and 54 hours of battery life. Everyone needs a pair of Raycons in their ears, whether it's for listening to music, taking work calls, blasting that workout playlist. You can find Raycon in stores now like Kohl's or Walmart, but you're always going to get the best deal when you use our special link. Go to buyraycon.com/Tom. Go now, where they offer buy now, pay later options, but that's just between me and you. And buyraycon.com/Tom right now and use a code EARLYBF, that's EARLYBF, to get 20% off site-wide, or save even bigger and get 30% off Raycon's exclusive holiday bundles, endorsed by Santa. That's code EARLYBF at buyraycon.com/Tom. 20% off your Raycon purchase. That's buyraycon.com/Tom.
Endorsed by Santa?
Endorsed by Santa.
That's super cool. Thanks, Raycon. Coming up, a little surprise, and we'll continue to visit with David Koechner, and we'll find out about his cameo deal. This is the Bob and Tom Show.
Hi, this is Kostaki Economopoulos, and you are listening to Bob and Tom 24/7.
Hey, catch Kostaki on Tuesdays when he calls in with his look at the National Football League. The Philadelphia Eagles remain undefeated now, 8-0 on the season as they defeated the Houston Texans last night in Houston. The Philadelphia baseball team, not so lucky. They lose to the Houston Astros. Isn't that interesting that they played each other in both football and baseball last night at the same time? Of course, in different cities. I wonder if the baseball fans were watching football or if the football fans were watching baseball. Something to ponder. You're listening to Bob and Tom 24/7.
Hi, everybody. Christy Lee with your Bob and Tom News Update. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says her husband is out of the hospital. Paul Pelosi does remain under doctor's care as he continues the long recovery process and convalescence he'll need from the hammer assault last week. Mr. Pelosi was treated at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center. The House Speaker did thank the 911 operator who sent police to the Pelosi home, as well as emergency responders and hospital doctors and staff. The third largest lottery prize in U.S. history has folks across the country clamoring for a chance to win the mega jackpot. But in the 5 states without a lottery, envious bystanders are crossing state lines or sending ticket money to friends and family, hoping to get in on the action. 5 states, Utah, Nevada, Hawaii, Alaska, and Alabama, suffer from Powerball envy. And Elon Musk wants to change how Twitter doles out its checkmark badges for verified accounts. While the blue checkmark is at times viewed as an elite status symbol for the rich and famous, its purpose has always been to ensure that people and accounts tweeting are who they say they are. While Musk's exact plans are not clear, experts are raising questions about the consequences of having a paid verification system. They fear it would leave anyone unwilling to pay vulnerable to impersonation, and anyone who does pay, the ability to have their presence boosted by algorithms. And that's your news. I'm Christy Lee. More of the Bob and Tom Show on the way.
Things you hear on the Bob and Tom Show.
Comedian Renee Hicks has joined us in the studio.
Morning, Renee.
Good morning. Quite the sportswoman, I can tell
Yes. And we were talking about the WNBA. I just want to know, will there be, feminine hygiene commercials, sponsoring it? Because I think those things got to go. They're just too damn nasty. I mean, they got to stop. They got to stop talking about women's genitalia. I mean, and these women talking about douche. We don't do that, men. We don't go to the beach talking about douche.
You don't?
No, we don't. And see, I never want to see a black woman do that because they would have her just acting crazy, just walking along going, "Oh, girl, I ain't seen you in a... Damn, Shaniqua, is that you stinking like that, girl? Well, you need to douche your nasty ass. There's a whole family of seagulls following your nasty ass. Damn."
Hey,
man, it's Donnie Baker. And the fact remains there's nothing better than being a VIP. And I don't mean like his dudes on Pervert Row at Xanadu's. I'm talking about a Bob and Tom VIP. Best thing, you'll never miss another minute of the show. I swear to God, you can hear the show here in the morning, and then because you're a Bob and Tom VIP, you'll get the podcast of the entire show, a 12-month library of podcasts, hundreds of Bob and Tom comedy tapes, and a 60-day video archive of the show. Bob and Tom VIP. You have to get it. It's state law.
Bob and Tom, 24/7.
Comedy via your computer. Bob and Tom 24/7.
This is Bob and Tom, 24/7.
Little ditty about Jack Bauer's plan to try and stop a nerve gas attack by the mean Russian man. Jack is hiding in the ductwork, crawling around. Then it pops up, pulls his gun, shouting, "Everybody down!" Jack is just trying to keep America free. But tell him a lie and he'll shoot your wife right in the knee. Gotta get the intel, no matter the cost. He gonna give the wet list to that German dude who was on Lost. Jack is saying, Chloe, upload them schematics to my PDA. Gonna put my jacket hood on, hold my breath and save the day. Jack is saying, oh yeah, life goes on long after they set off the nerve gas bomb. Oh yeah, I said life goes on long after Michelle, Tony, and Edgar are gone. Little ditty about Jack Bauer's plan. Gonna whisper, then shout some, then whisper it again. Curtis, where are you? Tell me about Mr. Cooper. Tell me about Mr. Cooper. Get in the chopper now. I said I wanted a cheeseburger.
Hi, this is Bobcat Goldthwait, and you're listening to Bob and Tom 24/7.
You know you're too high when you're eating cereal naked and your girlfriend tells you to put some clothes on. You realize it's not your girlfriend, it's just a woman on a bus. That's how you know you're too high.
Hey, don't say we didn't warn you. There's laughter ahead.
You guys want to grab lunch?
We can't go anymore.
Holy
That's
cow.
a good day's work, everybody.
This is Bob and Tom 24/7.
What up?
Welcome back to the Bob and Tom Show. Christy Lee at the news desk. There's Pat Godwin in the performance room.
Hello, Chick.
There's Josh Arnold.
Chick.
There's Ace Cosby.
Hey.
There's Willie Griswold.
Good morning.
I'm Chick McGee. Here's Tom Griswold. And even though Christy made him cry, he's still here. It's David Koechner.
David Koechner was a fine comedian, improv guy,
I know what Christy said to him.
I kicked him. I'm sorry.
No, we're talking about my family. You know.
Okay. Now, Mr. Koechner
Yes, sir.
is doing some special appearances, and they will include on his Saturday appearances. He's doing during the day a special tribute to The Office. Office trivia. This is quite a. What's the exact title of the piece?
Office trivia with the real Todd Packer.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And you've got a bunch of great stories about that. So that's coming up. But right now, a little surprise for everybody.
Oh.
I think on the big screen, there we go.
Oh, there he is. Hey, everybody. It's me, Jeff Oskey at the Failed to Mention News Desk.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going in there, everybody? Hey, I want to apologize. Last week, my segment really fell flat. I swung for the fences. I came up short. I've been feeling down all week.
Sorry.
So I decided to do something about it. Not write better jokes. I've instead hired myself a full-time hype man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone to pump me up, make me feel better about myself, give me some confidence back since my soul has been slowly ripped away from me since starting here.
Yeah.
So let's give it a shot.
That's right, my man. That's right.
All right. I mowed my yard yesterday for the last time of the season. What I failed to mention, instead of doing my normal patterns of striped lines, do you like that look, Tom? The striped lines in the lawn?
Sure.
Yesterday, instead of doing that, what I did was Van Gogh's Starry Night.
Oh, yeah. There we go. That's a start. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Only took me 19 hours. We're setting our clocks back an hour this weekend. What you failed to mention, yay, I get an hour longer to drink on Saturday night.
Yeah, baby.
Keep going. Next one.
I'm a little parched.
Oh. You gotta get that.
Okay. I'm doing good. Oh, thank you. Guests trapped in Disney on Halloween as China locks down their theme parks over a COVID scare. Guests were trapped inside Disney.
Wow.
What you failed to mention, the kids had to have loved that. So you're telling me we can't leave, Dad? Awesome!
That was magical.
There's a new cure for boldness in the works. What you failed to mention, the number one cure for boldness is still baseball cap.
Yes.
Followed in a distant second by Bret Michaels bandana.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
How's it?
Oh, a nice
a little
bite of a sandwich
Okay,
there. Yeah.
very
a fish.
Gotta stay. That's what it looked like.
There's a new human washing machine. Like a machine, you climb in and it washes you. What you failed to mention, how can this go wrong? I know there are no two things I love more than mixing bath time and 240 volts of electricity. I'm going to need a little more water, please.
Yeah, that's.
He's getting squirted through.
Soften up that bun.
The world's dirtiest man has died at the age of 94. What you failed to mention, he is survived by his 17 body lice.
That's it. There's only 17 though.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll get him next time.
All right, let's do this. A marijuana company was sued for not getting users high enough. What you failed to mention, maybe next time don't buy a strain called Fake and Bake. Fake and Bake.
Right there on the label.
Even the guy supposed to be helping him out didn't like that one.
Not at all.
Okay, thank you. A judge has ruled in favor of the bikini baristas in a lawsuit brought by the city wanting them to cover up. What you failed to mention, if you don't like the bikini-clad women, then take your ass down the road to the burqa baristas at the Quran Coffee Company.
They're a little more covered up. You're saying?
Yeah, at the Quran.
You see.
Yeah.
And finally, old-ass musician Jerry Lee Lewis died. What you failed to mention, here's a fact I just made up. A whole lot of shaking going on was written while watching his niece play Yahtzee with her school friends on the living room floor. I've been Jeff Oskey, and this is the news that we failed to mention.
There he goes.
That's the hardest working man in news.
Jeff Oskey.
Oh boy.
Thank you. Our guest in the studio is David Koechner. Do you prefer David or Dave?
I don't hear the difference.
Okay.
I mean, some people are very strident about how you say it. If you're a fan of consonants, then David. Although sometimes I have said my name to people, and they'll go, Jeff? So that's why the consonant
So you
is there.
prefer Dave, David, or not Jeff?
Not Jeff.
Okay, good.
Koechner.
Getting some interesting emails from those listening out there, and these are two of them that say almost the same thing.
Oh, I'm a small-time
Please
teacher.
Please tell Mr. Koechner my favorite character of his was Stumpy from Out Cold.
Yes.
The next one. Hey, Bob and Tom Show. I love listening to you guys. I wanted to say I'm a huge fan of David Koechner. My favorite of his movies is Out Cold.
Nice. Nice.
Snowboarding?
It's a snowboarding movie made in the turn of the century, actually. You can say that. Turn of the century. It was made in 2000. We shot that in Canada. I play a local roustabout in this ski town named Stumpy. And he was a very colorful character.
Did Stumpy have both of his arms?
Yes, yeah. There was no reason. There was no explanation for Stumpy. I guess maybe his intellect. So he would have been done well at that Neanderthal game. But Stumpy, the beautiful thing was that thing. There, I had a gorgeous mustache that the hair and makeup person put on. She had this piece, and it's not at SNL. They can help you put a character together with some pieces, but this is the first time on a film she had this gorgeous bushy mustache, and she put it on me like, man, that just made the rest of the character absolutely come to life.
All right.
So sometimes you can get help out.
Now, can you grow one?
A mustache? Oh, yeah.
Really? A good one?
Oh, yeah. It'll be nice and gray these days. But, yeah, that's another. Let's see. The last time I grew a nice fat beard was for a different Christian film because Week Away actually happens to have some Christian themes in it. It was one called Priceless. It was about human trafficking. It was not a comedy, but I grew a nice bushy beard for that thing, and I remember I die in the end of that movie. And my sister is played in the theaters. My sisters called me, like, David, we just saw your movie. You have to tell us when you're going to die in a movie. You might just think you're dying. You're our brother. We're watching our brother get killed. Right? Yeah. So,
once again, with the holiday season just around the corner,
Yeah.
how about getting a nice cameo from David Koechner?
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a friend. There's so many weird gifts out there, and this is one of the ones I did last year for a few people. If you know someone who's a huge fan of something, how cool would it be to have one of David's characters wish someone a Merry Christmas or a Happy Birthday, and you're on, and it's just you go to Cameo, and there you are, and you can find him there.
I've done Stumpy on Cameo a couple of times, but they'll want. I've done it before, and so they can ask you to do it again, right? I shouldn't even mention it, but they'll ask you to basically read a script. It's like, hey, I'm just going to make some stuff up here, and we're all going to be good. I've had them go, you missed a couple of words there. Like, how about you just don't pay me, because I ain't going to do it again. Sorry if I missed it. It didn't come out exactly how you wanted it to be.
Is there a time limit on Cameo?
No.
Well, it's actually 6 days. Are you talking about?
You're talking about time to get it done?
Yeah, the length of one.
No, the length.
No, it can be as long as you want.
What is the longest? Josh, I know you do them all.
I go 3 to 5 minutes.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Why?
Because I'm.
Because he only gets one a week.
I've got the time. Yeah.
I usually, if I see he's doing one, he'll be walking around the building.
Yeah.
I'll always.
No, it's funny.
I'll always stick my head in and say something really offensive.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I tend to ramble.
You're punishing yourself because you think they paid for it and you've got to give them more.
Right.
Yeah.
But, they say wit is brevity,
Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yes, brevity. So as much as you think you must give more because they paid for it, you're enough already. And a minute and a half is enough.
It's short. A minute and a half is really actually quite long for many of them.
Yeah, but don't torture yourself.
Yeah. No, it's never torture. But you know what?
Feel like you have to give more.
Yeah.
Do you have any that? Do you save them all?
I don't. They're on the app. Yeah. They'll sit there on the app. Yeah.
Did you ever go back and look at any of them and go, "This is
no."
See, the thing about mine, Dave, I charge $10,000. Wow. I feel like I should at least give 3 to 5.
That's a bargain.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought.
What is the most expensive one on there?
Oh, there's people, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, Snoop Dogg does them. Troy Aikman does them.
Yeah.
What's his name? Chuck Norris does it. But they'll be a couple $1,000. Yeah.
You know who's making a lot of money on it these days? President Joe Biden is actually, and he's been doing a lot.
I would be. Does Meghan Markle do them?
Oh, God, please.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Can you imagine?
Anything for a buck. We're trying to get away from the royal family and publicity, so we're moving to L.A., the show business capital of the earth. Okay, good.
They're fun. People really enjoy them. Yeah. I should get, he's a little shy. Pat Godwin in there is a big fan of the character you do that introduces himself to women at bars. He recently, you talked about it on a Norm Macdonald.
Years ago?
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, podcast. And
which character was
That's
it?
T-Bone, right? He'd take you into the bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
He'd make you hit on these
Hey,
women.
Dave, go over there. Do your T-Bone's character there. Norm.
And you guys would go in the bar and you'd be T-Bone. You'd hit on these women who were with guys, right?
Yeah, and of course, I wouldn't do that as my normal self because, we're all have our shyness or whatever, but it's for the benefit of your buddies.
Yeah.
Right? For the benefit of Mr. Kite. But, so yeah, it's just a gag, so it takes all the pressure away. You just hope you don't get hit. Yeah. Norm was something else, man. I tell you what, I went to the L.A. tribute for Norm, and there wasn't a dry eye in the place.
I bet.
And they had this beautiful picture. Norm was such a gorgeous human being. Yeah. Boy, he had those eyes that were just piercing, blue eyes. And they did this tribute, and it was at a theater, and they had his gosh, I'm going to cry. They had his picture up there, and they played a part from his audiobook when he reflects on his time in show business. And it was just lovely. And, because you get to hear Norm again. And Norma's not a guy that is sentimental. But in this piece, he is slightly sentimental. And when you listen to his audiobook, you get to spend some time with Norm, and it's just gorgeous. It's such a beautiful, lovely tribute. Yeah, and he was a cool guy, man. It's such an important, the real comics they love Norm. Norm was a math genius. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
No.
Norm got accelerated through school, and he would talk about sometimes that made him a bit socially awkward because he was accelerated through grades because he was such a math genius. And, math is such an important part of comedy. That's why I'm not very good at it. That's another thing that was
What's also
remarkable.
interesting is that math's an important part of gambling, and yet that really wasn't his strength.
Well, it was his weakness. Boy, they said Norm would just borrow money from everybody. If you loan Norm money, apparently you're never going to see it.
We were discussing something earlier.
What?
And none of us understood it. We were talking about feminine hygiene. Mm-hmm. And I forget why it came up. It was in one of the cards, wasn't it?
Yes, and Christy's daughter just had her first period. Is that what it
No,
was?
she did not. She's 20. She's had many.
Also like her second or third.
But we were asking her if there was a contemporary slang term, because she's a college student.
Right.
And you figure that, the kids are hip. They probably have some slang term for
The kids are hip, aren't they?
Yeah, the darn kids. They don't want to be like us. They're hipper. And we thought that what was the current term for tampon, and turned out to be tampon. And your period is your period.
Right.
And we had people suggest other things, and we couldn't figure out this one. Grandma stuck in traffic.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Someone has explained it to us. It refers to a white-haired tampon stuck somewhere.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's that's just no one's going to pick up on that one.
Wow. Okay.
Whereas, and she didn't get the flow.
Right.
Because wasn't that the card?
She hadn't heard Aunt Flo. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Aunt Flo is in town. We're talking about
Painters are in town as well.
Poetry for Neanderthals, Not Safe for Work edition, and it's available exclusively at Target. Now, we have a professional comedian in the studio with us. He is David Koechner. You may know him from The Office or from Anchorman or from the great Netflix movie A Week Away. He's also famous for the real Todd Packer program that he puts on. But he is a professional. However, even the pros need to have lessons occasionally.
It's not embarrassing.
Even Tiger Woods has a guy help him with his swing. Mr. Koechner is not aware of this, but we do have a professional comedian, Ace Cosby, here in the building. And Ace is going to show him how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's that sexy man with a deep voice? Ace Cosby, here he is with his joke of the day.
What sound does a 747 make when it bounces?
I don't know what.
Boing, boing, boing.
That was Ace Cosby's joke of the day.
Boing. 747. Very good, Ace.
It's not a McDonnell Douglas product.
Brought to you by Omaha Steaks. We're deep in football season. Nothing goes with game day quite like Omaha Steaks. Order yours today, omahasteaks.com. Use promo code BTS at checkout. You'll get $30 off your $149 order. Make your next game day party a huge success with Omaha Steaks. Minimum order may be required.
Now, we have David Koechner as our guest. And you've worked with a lot of really famous people.
Yeah.
So I assume that you probably, I'm not going to ask you to drop any names because my buddy Tom Hanks says that's tacky. Do you put your famous friends' names in your phone with their real names, or do you have some kind of a code so that if...
Code. It was for when my kids used to get into my phone. And they would look for famous people, and they would call them. They would call them. I changed it.
Did they say, hey, your refrigerator's running, and do those?
No,
guys?
they just say, hey. And the person like, Dave? Because they just say, hey, and just hang there. And then they would call me later and go, I think your kids called me. So, yeah, I've hidden several.
Little code.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Time now to give Mr. Koechner and everyone else a little bit of a history lesson.
Time now for today In history, what number is it, Tom, without looking?
November 4th.
You looked.
Sorry. Okay, 1842. We'll do this in form of a quiz. Abraham Lincoln married who, Josh?
Mary Todd?
Mm-hmm.
From the Mary Todd lunatic family.
She was super hot. Did you know that she wore...
What?
Yeah, she...
No.
You know why he didn't have a mustache with that beard?
Why?
She wore it off.
Oh.
She was the early Markle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right jaw.
1856, James Buchanan elected our 15th president. I don't know much about him.
Nickname Bucky?
Okay, 1884, Grover Cleveland beat James G. Blaine for his first presidential term.
Blaine.
He also led the American League in ERA that year.
How about that? Not many people don't know that.
Yeah, and if it had gone the other way, if Mr. Blaine had won, Drew Carey's show would have taken place in Blaine, Ohio. Little obscure trivia fact is, see his last name. Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland,
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks for paying attention.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is odd. The tomb of Tutankhamun, King Tut, discovered by a guy named Howard Carter.
Yeah, today's actually King Tut Day. I kind of left that off.
Yeah, not Howard Carter Day, funny enough.
No.
The pillager. Yeah, okay. Maybe send him
maybe
back
he
their
was
stuff.
breaking the law. Maybe Howard Carter's breaking the law. Maybe he didn't
Okay. Let's see. On this date in 1952, Dwight Eisenhower found out that people indeed liked Ike. He became the president.
Liked Ike. Yes.
Like Ike. The Spice Girls released their debut album on this date in 1996.
Man,
Yeah, and you've seen them in concert a couple times.
I have. They were great.
What a musical group that is.
I took one of my little girls to see him when she was little, and we had a great time.
Dave Koechner, who's your favorite Spice Girl?
The one, Pumpkin.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know.
And then I can never remember which was which. Victoria Beckham was Resting Bitch Face Spice.
Yeah.
I think was that her?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's see. Happy birthday, Walter Cronkite. Born
may
in
he rest in
1916. And that's the way it is.
Yes.
Considered to be one of the most unprofessional newsmen in history. Isn't that Isn't that something?
That's a lie.
Newsman. It was a newsman.
With the wacky nose. I do have a Walter Cronkite story.
No.
All right.
That's why
I enjoy the story.
You do.
I hope it's real.
Mr. Cronkite's daughter attended Brown University.
Can I ruin it?
With a friend of mine, and they were celebrating graduation. And my friend saw Mr. Cronkite and his daughter across the way at the restaurant, and by chance he went to urinate, and he was standing next to Walter Cronkite at the urinal. Cronkite had got right next to him, and so he finished and he said, "And that's the way I piss." Gave the date and walked out.
I thought it was "That's the way I whiz."
That's the way I whiz.
Maybe it was.
I don't believe that story at all.
I don't care.
Yes, I am.
Every time you tell it, I believe it less and less.
It's a true story. I'll get him on the phone.
That's the way I whiz.
1962, Jeff Probst was born, who is he's got to be a bazillionaire. Aren't they on like episode 45?
Season something.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Yeah,
He's your fashion icon there, Dad.
He
is.
He used to wear shirts with two pockets. They're beautiful. I asked him about it once. They're handmade just for him.
How about that?
So I wanted to buy them.
Well, they wouldn't be handmade for Durward Kirby, would they?
No, they won't.
By the way, you don't hear the name Durwood much.
No.
You don't.
Maybe it's time to have another child.
Maybe
just
it's
to name
time.
them Durwood.
Maybe it's time to find out what we learned today on the show.
What we learned,
Tom is not feeling well today. He came in and announced that. And let me tell you, if you don't go to your place of business or work and one of your coworkers, first thing,
I don't feel well today.
You came around.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I didn't go. We talked about cornhole cheating today. That's where you...
That's not your side piece that happens to be of the same gender.
You finally talk her into it. Pat Godwin and Willie sang a song. It was a duet.
Sweet.
And it was Walk
into the liquor store.
To the liquor store.
My friend.
Walk into the liquor store.
Joke free.
Very funny.
Well, actually, Josh Arnold told a mind-numbing story about sewing a baseball. And
That's right.
He has done it by hand in Costa Rica.
I didn't know they were hand sewn.
They sure are.
I thought it was a machine.
Still not interesting.
What a snooze that was.
God,
It's a snooze
Jesus.
fest, man.
Holstein cow, leather.
Boring.
Also, Josh doesn't like dog shows. That dog looks like every other dog.
That's right.
He suggests a dog pooping contest.
I think that would be more interesting.
No.
And the winner of
This year is surprisingly a Chihuahua.
How about that?
When you use the handicap method.
And Christy's daughter was here and got her period.